trudging the same old path again, year in, year out. What's it all about? Well, it's like termites nibbling away at a tree. Well, they get results in the end. Those tiny little efforts all add up to something big in the end. And so I consider I'm very privileged with my health, and very happy with how it's gone. There was a time, people, when I was suffering from a few things, minor things really. I used to have edema, which is a swelling of the feet and ankles, and it wasn't severe, but if I did a lot of walking, like 4 or 5 miles of a day, then I would end up with swollen ankles, and I could press in good half an inch. That's how much fluid was on my shins and around my ankles in that period, and I had that for about 4 years. And also I had issues with the lower lumbar region. There's always something which seemed to be rubbing, and I went to see lots of specialists and they could never tell me anything. They referred me to people to speak about exercises and yoga, and I've been doing that all my life in any case, so I know all that stuff. But that never helped. In actual fact, on lots of occasions it would agitate it, and so it was like, I don't know, that there was some scarring, some swelling, maybe the cartilage had worn away and you got cartilages rubbing or something. It was all about the fourth vertebrae, right down in the lumbar region. And in my life I've had bouts when it's twinged like that, and I've been bedbound for like a week or 10 days. And I lived with this for about 30 years of my life. And I thought, well, I'm fucked at this stage now, because I've had x-rays and the doctors have told me that my spine is perfect. In actual fact, it's very, very good for my age. Then I've had other people. I had a CAT scan on one occasion. They found nothing then. And then all these specialists that have given me advice and everything, and they couldn't find anything. I mean, the small of the back, it's a bit like the dark side of the moon, to be fair, people. They just don't know. And it's not really maybe that they couldn't know, it's the fact that there's so many possibilities, and it's so expensive for them to find out. Because what they say is, look, if we can do a CAT scan, which will give us, an idea of all the tendons and muscles and all the soft matter that's going on in your body, but you need to come the day when you are lying in bed, incapacitated. And it's not practical, is it? You can't do it. So by the time you're fit and able to go to the hospital again, or to get the CAT scan, then the swelling's gone down and they won't find anything. So that's the catch-22. Ideally, they need to bring the CAT scan to you and do that whilst you're in bed on the first day of the swelling. Well, in an ideal world, maybe that one day will happen. But other than that, I had recurring cold sores. Always just on this little bottle lip in, and it would inflame, about every 3 months. It was ridiculous. And when you look online to see what causes that, it can be peanuts, it can be out in the sun, it can be a load of things, of course. But, I started to manage all those things. And I thought, well, this is it, this is getting old. Until I thought, well, I learnt about polypore mushrooms. These shelf bracket mushrooms, white cream they are, and thick and spongy, and they grow on silver birch trees. And they were reputedly very, very beneficial to the health, reducing inflammation, which of course constitutes 90+% of all illnesses. So if you can reduce inflammation in your body, then the chances are you'll live to be 100. So I knew where these birch polypores were, and I was always foraging mushrooms in any case. So I thought, well, I'm going to gather up a right big sack, and I'm going to process them all, chop them up and, prepare them and freeze them and all that sort of thing. And then I'm going to be drinking the pulp, the water from the pulp, over an extended period. So I did this, and I drank this stuff for 6 months. At least a half a pint every day of quite concentrated polypore juice, maybe a pint. And after about 2 months, I think it was, all of the symptoms went away. The edema, and I haven't been consuming this polypore now for a good 6 months because I ran out, and I haven't managed to get to this place where they are this year. But because they didn't really need to, I've not made that special effort. But the polypores are about this time of year, and they are plump, and they're at their absolute best. And so they're very easy to distinguish. You can't make a mistake with them. You won't be poisoning yourself in any shape or form. And all you got to do, if you're a little bit worried about it, just do a little bit of research, and then you'll know what you're looking for. And it's simple to prepare. And I've got lots of preparation videos on this channel. Just put polypore in, and polypore, in my search banner, and you'll find them. So that's an absolute miracle cure. And when you look online, they tell you, people will tell you that it's a miracle cure. This stuff is sent from the gods. And so since then, I haven't had the slightest problem with any of those ailments. Not the slightest of swelling on my ankles, never had this cold sore thing come back, and no issues with my back. And so I can imagine that it would work wonders with anything in relation to inflammation, people. So it really is something to consider. Okay, aside from that, going to the gym, walking out in the fresh air, it takes me half an hour to get there, half an hour to get back. I'll spend an hour in the gym. So, that's 2 hours of exercise. And I do that 3 or 4 times a week these days. And like I say, then I'll cycle 3 times a week. So always keeping active, always keeping the circulation going, always keeping the breath activated. Cardiovascular, people, because the breath is really, really important. If you don't oxidize your body, or oxidate it, whatever the terminology is, if you don't have a massive influx of air, with your oxygen of course, very regular, then your body won't fare well. And how many people do you know, you're probably some of them, that never breathe deeply, you never breathe rapidly, you never put your heart under duress, you never... But of course when you get fit, you go... and you feel absolutely fantastic. And so when I go cycling, I'm often doing this rapid fire breathing. I'm really, really working hard, and I'm going... And I'll do this for a whole 20 minutes around my cycle route. And what that does, it absolutely flushes your body with oxygen. And if you are over breathing, then you get an additional dose of oxygen. And so your muscles don't tire anything like as much as they do. And you'll find that if you did breathing exercises like that before you did some exercise, then you would be much stronger and your endurance would be greater, because your body oxidation lasts maybe for about 20 minutes after. Every one of your cells, if you can imagine, have got a massive amount of oxygen clinging to them. Your whole body's been oxidized or oxidated or oxygenated, whatever you fucking call it. And you are alert and you're strong and everything. It's amazing. And of course, when you inspire, you're breathing in spirit, people. And then when you listen to, spiritual people, they'll give you a myriad of exercises to do about breathing, because they've realised also that breathing is exceedingly important. And if you breathe rapidly in a certain way, deep breathing, long, deep breaths, if you do that, and then on the last one you hold your breath and you'll go fucking dizzy, so make sure you're doing it in an environment that if you fall down, if you pass out, you're going to be safe. You induce DMT and you'll see visions. And I saw a guy just like me, as it happens now. This was when I never had the beard, or when I was living down in Portugal. I had a beard at one stage, but this particular time when I was doing that, I never had the beard. But what I saw up in the clouds was something identical to me, only with a beard about that long, without these dreads, and no discernible dreads on the head, no glasses, but a bearded head. And this came very, very powerfully clear, just like these visions do when you take DMT. And then after about 30 seconds it disappeared, and I went, holy fuck, what was that? And I thought, well, if I do it again, will it come back? I did it again and it came back exactly the same in exactly the same place. And I'm like, look people, this is where all of these things about God being in the clouds came from. I'm absolutely positive, because when you're on DMT you will see these images. You will see entities and you know they're alive, even though they're absolutely static. You know that they're alive and you know that they live there, and it's bewildering. And on one occasion, myself and a friend, we did DMT on the beach, and we both stated that we saw this God figure in the clouds, and we described it to each other, and it was the same thing. So these things are there. It's not like they're here, it's kind of like they are there, but you need a certain vibration of consciousness to be able to see them. And so with all the books I'm reading about spirituality and spirits, they've been saying this for years, people, but of course in the Western world, Western society, all that stuff's been poo-pooed. When it's really preposterous, because this whole dimension is absolutely riddled with spirits. We are spirit. They talk about the soul, they talk about the spirit. Always talking about spirits and ghosts and effigies and this and the other. It really, 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 really is a thing. And then with your astral body, you can go out and you can engage with other astral beings and everything. There's spirits in all different sorts of dimensions. And this book I'm reading at the moment, it's called A Book of Spirits. And it's talking about all the different varieties. And all the different varieties that people have seen and they've spoke with. Because if you want to, you can speak with them, of course. Called necromancy, isn't it? Speaking with the dead. And then, this book talks about all the different variants of good and bad ones and all the rest of it. So, it really is the thing. So the inspiration, the breath, is very, very powerful. And so I'm walking, and generally I'm speed walking as I walk up here, so I get the circulation going. Take lots of deep breaths, and on this beautiful, chilly, slightly misty morning, you've got the dampness in the air. It's a beautiful thing. And what it does, it just brings life to you, people. But if your body is full of pain, if you're struggling to walk and all this different sort of thing, then you're not really going to be getting the benefits of it. Because, I don't know, your body's too contaminated or too old or too infirm, whatever. So for any of you that, are pretty healthy at this moment in time, I would beseech you to ensure that you don't let it get to a point whereby you can't do these things. You need to keep the body under duress all of its life, people, because when your body is under duress, all of the cells in the body know that that's what they need to keep doing. They need to keep reproducing themselves because there's a requirement But if the requirement goes away and you are a couch potato, then the body turns all these things off. It turns off all the wonderful things that fight diseases and illnesses and all that sort of thing. So when you have an active life, and when you are firing on all four cylinders, then your body will keep young. And so that's the state of play with myself at this moment in time, and I can't really envision a time when I'm ever going to stop. And so, just keep plodding on, just keep plodding on. And so when I look at other people's lives, like the high flyers of the world, earning millions and travelling all around the world and this, that and the other, I'm thinking, oh goodness me, what are you doing? You're throwing your lives away, people. You're throwing your lives away because you're driven so much by your ego for the fame and the fortune and the adoration, and you're eating hotel food, and you're not getting appropriate sleep because you're sleeping in the hotels, and you're doing all this travelling which upsets your circadian rhythm and your equanimity and your homeostasis, and you don't feel like eating and you don't feel like sleeping and all these different sorts of things. And the last thing you probably really want to do is exercise because you're too exhausted. And so these people that are doing that, and I don't know, somewhere in their foolish minds they think that they've got it made and they've made it big. Whereas, myself, I think I've made it big. I think I've made it bigger than all of them. Because I don't have to sleep in another bed. I don't have to eat hotel food. I'm not thrown out of my circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm, people, your natural cosmic sleeping and waking pattern is exceedingly important to healthy living. If you go to bed when your body wants to go to bed and you wake up when your body wants to wake up, waking up by an alarm is absolute torture. You should never ever do that. Never shock your body into springing out of its deep resting period. You need to wake up very, very gently and appropriately. And if you always live by your circadian rhythm, like I have done for this past 15 years, people, never ever have to get out of bed in the morning, albeit I'm an early riser. In the summertime, I will rise at daybreak. So in the summertime I often get up at 4 a.m. because I'm in touch with the circadian rhythm. As soon as the light starts to come in my bedroom window, because I never use curtains, and I always have the window open so I can hear the birds and the fresh air's coming in, you see. And so my brain is very, very sensitive to the first signs of daybreak, and I know it's there, and without even opening my eyes I will know what time it is throughout the whole of the year, because I'm very much in tune with the varying aspects and facets of light at any given time. So for instance, like now, generally gets light approaching 8 a.m. and so when I'm lying there like that and I just start to wake up and I don't open my eyes, I can sense the small twilight coming through my eyelids, and I will know that it's like 7:15, 7:30, that sort of time, and invariably I'm never wrong. And the other thing is I have a church which is next to me, and the church bells ring out every 15 minutes. And so you have ding dong for quarter past, ding dong ding dong for half past, ding dong ding dong ding dong for quarter to 2, and then you have the full shebang on the hour, and then after it's gone ding dong ding dong then it will give you the hour 1, 2 or 12. And so when I'm sort of like semi-awake in the evening time and I hear the church bell start, I know instantly what hour it is. And I ask myself, well, how do I know what hour it is? Because my mind is tuned in to the church bells. It's listening to them unconsciously, and it's just absorbing what time it is because it's so connected with my environment. So it's listening to everything that's going on. And I suppose this sort of level of perception or skill is related to our ancestry, because we would have needed to have been very, very in tune with our environment. We would have been needing to know what each breaking twig was, or rustle out in the environment. We'd need to know if that was a harmless predator or a dangerous predator, or any number of other animal. And of course we would need to be in tune with all the weather, what sort of weather's coming in, so we didn't get caught out and put ourselves in danger. So what can I say? Well, when you meditate and when you still the mind, and when you don't have the pressures of life, then your mind sinks back into its natural state, and then it becomes vastly in tune with everything around. And so this is now when I just walk around, and I see so much, I absorb so much, I hear so much. And when I'm walking through the woods, with certain friends, usually Mr. Nobody, I'm always looking everywhere, and I'm always tuned into everything, and I can spot any particular bird right up in the canopy of the branches. I can spot a woodpecker's hole in the tree, or bird's nest, or whatever, and I'll just go, hey, look at that over there, and my mate goes, what, and I'm like, that there, can't see anything. Oh, for fucking hell. Then I have to go really, really close, and it's like, oh, and so we get tuned into things, people, at different levels. And you would have all watched these American Indian cowboy movies, where the American Indian is used to track down a villain, and they're walking through the desert, and they're creeping along, and all the cavalry is stopped, and they're looking, oh, what's this wizard doing? How can he see where this horse is gone? Oh, it's so easy. It really is so easy. When you've lived in the area, when a twig's broken, or the ground's scuffed, or whether a horse is walking, running, or cantering, or whatever. It's just a no-brainer when you've grown up with it. But in these movies, it's like, oh, it's magic. It's not magic. It's just so elementary. But most people have just become so detached from it. But anyway, a few things there for you people. I'm going to go and do my bit in the gym, and I'll catch you guys later.